On the evening of May 3, 2007, a quiet resort town in Portugal became the center of one of the world's most baffling missing person cases. A 3-year-old British girl, Madeleine McCann, vanished from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz and was never seen again. Who took Madeleine? What really happened that night? And why, after all these years, do we still not have definitive answers? Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious disappearance of Madeleine McCann. We'll explore the key events, theories, and the latest developments in the case. If you find this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Jerry and Kate McCann, both doctors from the UK, were on vacation with their 3 children and a group of friends at the Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. It was a routine family holiday filled with sun, relaxation, and evening get-togethers. The group of friends, later referred to as the Tapas 7, often dined together at a nearby restaurant while taking turns checking on their sleeping children. The McCanns were staying in apartment 5A, a ground-floor unit overlooking a small garden and pathway. The children, Madeleine, just 3 years old, and her 2-year-old twin siblings, were placed in a bedroom with Madeleine sleeping in a single bed beside the window while the twins were in travel cots. That evening, the McCanns followed their usual routine. At around 8:30 p.m., they left the apartment and joined their friends at the Tapas Bar, located just across the pool area, a short walk from their accommodation. The parents maintained a system where every 20 to 30 minutes, one of them or a friend would return to check on the sleeping children. At approximately 9:05 p.m., Jerry McCann checked on the children. Everything seemed fine. Madeleine was still in her bed and the twins were sound asleep. He left the door slightly ajar before returning to dinner. At around 9:15 p.m., Jane Tanner, a friend dining with the group, left the restaurant to check on her own child. As she walked past the McCann's apartment, she noticed a man carrying a small child wrapped in a blanket. However, she thought little of it at the time. At approximately 10 p.m., it was Kate McCann's turn to check on the children, but when she entered the room, she was met with a nightmare. Madeleine's bed was empty, and the window was open. Panic set in as Kate rushed back to the restaurant, shouting, "They've taken her!" Within minutes, the entire resort was on high alert. Guests, staff, and friends searched frantically for the little girl, but there was no trace of her. The local police were called, but by the time they arrived, crucial hours had already passed. The nightmare had only just begun. The Portuguese police launched an immediate search effort, but their handling of the case would soon come under scrutiny. Officers canvassed the resort, knocking on doors and questioning staff and guests, yet there were no confirmed sightings of Madeleine. A perimeter was set up, but with no clear strategy, precious time slipped away. The search expanded beyond the resort. Sniffer dogs combed the area, helicopters scanned from above, and divers searched nearby wells and water sources. Volunteers scoured the town, calling Madeleine's name, but there was no trace of the little girl. Despite the growing urgency, mistakes were made. The apartment where Madeleine had vanished was not immediately sealed off, allowing potential contamination of evidence. Witness statements were collected, but inconsistencies emerged, making it difficult to establish a reliable timeline of events. A few weeks into the investigation, British sniffer dogs were deployed. They alerted authorities to traces of human blood and the scent of a body in the McCann's apartment and rental car. This raised further questions, but critics argued that cadaver dogs were not always reliable and that forensic evidence needed to be verified under lab conditions. As pressure mounted, tensions grew between the Portuguese police and British authorities. Accusations of mishandling the case surfaced, with some arguing that the local police lacked the experience to handle such a high-profile disappearance. The media added fuel to the fire, reporting leaks, theories, and speculation that often distracted from the core investigation. Meanwhile, Kate and Jerry McCann launched their own public appeal. They reached out to the media, set up a Find Madeleine campaign, and even met with high-profile figures, including the Pope, to keep their daughter's case in the spotlight. Millions of dollars in donations poured in from people around the world. Over the next few months, police released sketches of potential suspects based on witness testimonies. One of the most notable sightings was Jane Tanner's account of a man carrying a child away from the apartment around the time of Madeleine's disappearance. However, doubts arose over the reliability of these witness statements, and the investigation continued to face roadblocks. With no solid leads and conflicting information from different sources, the investigation started losing momentum. But then, a shocking twist changed everything. The McCanns themselves were about to come under suspicion. Several theories emerged. Some believe she was abducted by a child trafficking ring, given Portugal's proximity to known trafficking routes. Others suspect a burglary gone wrong, with intruders panicking and taking Madeleine instead of fleeing. One of the strongest theories suggests that Madeleine was taken by an organized trafficking ring. Portugal has been identified as a key transit hub for human trafficking, and some reports indicate that similar abductions had occurred in the region around the same time. Could Madeleine have been targeted and sold into a network that made her disappear forever? Witness Jane Tanner described a suspicious man carrying a small child near the McCann's apartment that night. The sighting was considered a crucial lead, but years later, it was debunked when a British tourist came forward, revealing he had been carrying his own child from a nearby creche at the time. This revelation cast further doubt on the reliability of early witness accounts. Another theory suggests that Madeleine's disappearance was the result of a burglary gone wrong. In 2013, Scotland Yard's Operation Grange shifted its focus to a series of burglaries that had taken place in Praia da Luz in the weeks leading up to Madeleine's disappearance. Could an intruder have entered the apartment, only to find Madeleine awake and decided to abduct her rather than risk making noise and getting caught? But the most shocking theory of all involved Madeleine's own parents. In September 2007, 4 months after the disappearance, Portuguese police officially named Kate and Jerry McCann as arguidos, or formal suspects. Investigators claimed to have found traces of Madeleine's DNA in the trunk of a rental car the McCanns had hired weeks after she vanished. However, forensic experts debated the reliability of this evidence. The DNA samples were considered inconclusive, and critics argued that cross-contamination was likely due to poor handling of the crime scene. After intense media scrutiny and a lack of concrete proof, Portuguese authorities dropped the case against the McCanns in 2008, clearing them of any involvement. The case deeply divided public opinion. While some believed the McCanns were grieving parents wrongly accused, others suspected they knew more than they were letting on. The media's relentless coverage only fueled the debate, with some tabloids publishing sensationalist theories and others advocating for the McCanns' innocence. Then, in 2020, a new suspect emerged, Christian Brückner, a convicted German sex offender who had been living in Praia da Luz at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. German authorities claimed they had concrete evidence linking Brückner to the case, but no charges have been filed to this day. Brückner, currently imprisoned for unrelated crimes, was known to have a history of violent offenses against children. Phone records placed him near the Ocean Club Resort on the night Madeleine disappeared. But without physical evidence or a confession, his involvement remains speculative. With no conclusive evidence to support any one theory, the question remains, what really happened to Madeleine McCann? The mystery continues to haunt investigators, journalists, and the public to this day. In 2011, Scotland Yard launched Operation Grange, a special investigative unit dedicated to Madeleine's disappearance. Backed by the UK government, this operation reviewed evidence, re-examined witness statements, and pursued new leads that had been overlooked in the initial investigation. The initial goal of Operation Grange was to establish what exactly had happened to Madeleine. Investigators sifted through thousands of pieces of evidence, following up on old witness statements and looking into possible new suspects. The review resulted in the identification of multiple persons of interest, and fresh leads reignited hope that the case could still be solved. In 2014, Operation Grange conducted several large-scale searches in Praia da Luz, including digging at specific sites where investigators believed new evidence might be found. Despite the efforts, no significant findings emerged, further deepening the mystery. Despite being officially cleared as suspects, Kate and Jerry McCann continued to face public scrutiny. While some people sympathized with them, others accused them of knowing more than they claimed. Regardless, the McCanns never stopped searching for their daughter, raising millions through donations and hiring private investigators to pursue new leads. Over the years, potential sightings of Madeleine were reported across multiple countries, including Spain, Morocco, and even Australia. However, none of these reports led to credible breakthroughs. In 2020, the case took another dramatic turn when German authorities announced that Christian Brückner, a convicted sex offender, was under investigation as a prime suspect. Investigators claimed to have concrete evidence linking Brückner to the case, but despite years of probing, no charges have been filed against him. In a chilling revelation, German prosecutors stated they had reason to believe Madeleine was no longer alive, though they refused to disclose the exact nature of their evidence. This statement shocked the world, yet without formal charges or tangible proof, the case remained open-ended. Despite these grim developments, the McCanns continued to hold on to hope. They insist that until definitive evidence proves otherwise, they will never stop searching for their daughter. With each passing year, the case of Madeleine McCann remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in modern history. Countless theories, suspects, and investigations have led to dead ends, but the search has never truly stopped. Nearly 2 decades later, the search for Madeleine McCann continues. Her parents remain hopeful, and investigators still chase new leads. The case, now one of the longest-running missing persons investigations in modern history, remains open, with new funding allocated periodically to support the search. Operation Grange, the British police initiative launched in 2011, is still active, although it has been scaled back over the years. Officials continue to investigate fresh leads, including re-examining past statements and forensic evidence using modern technology. However, the lack of new breakthroughs continues to frustrate those seeking answers. In 2023, German authorities confirmed that Christian Brückner remained their prime suspect. They explored new links between him and other missing children cases across Europe. While they claim to have strong circumstantial evidence, they have yet to publicly disclose definitive proof connecting him to Madeleine's disappearance. One of the few concrete efforts to keep the case in the public eye has been the release of updated age progression images of Madeleine, showing what she might look like today. The hope is that if she is still alive, someone might recognize her. Over the years, public interest in the case has only grown. Social media sleuths continue to analyze every detail, often uncovering inconsistencies or reigniting old debates. Some believe the focus on Christian Brückner has been a distraction from other possible explanations, while others think the answer lies in overlooked evidence from the original investigation. Despite the passing years, the McCanns have never given up hope. They continue to mark Madeleine's birthday each year, lighting candles and issuing statements reminding the world that they still seek answers. They hold on to the belief that their daughter may still be out there. So, what do you think really happened to Madeleine McCann? Do you believe there's still hope of finding her, or is the truth buried forever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video compelling, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.